Alright, hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. And today I'm actually going to be going through how not to be caught up in a liquidity range. So this is gold actually, and I'm actually looking at the 1 hour time frame. This lines, white lines you see right here, is actually the high that I'm looking at, the highest structure that people might term as demand. And as for me, if I see something high like this, if price gets closer and gives me something like a change of character, I should be suspecting a kind of a different move, like a break, before I maybe attempt an entry. Or sometimes I can just take the change of character if I want to be aggressive, just to be careful. I don't want to be caught up in price being liquidating my setups, right? Let's take it for as an example, right? Anytime you have a change of character, there is always a possibility that this particular one here is liquidity, and there is a demand level right here that is supposed to be taken um, before the price continues the original direction. And in this particular situation, you don't like to be caught up in a particular situation where you have to keep on explaining yourself, be like, this was a change of character and why was I not in the right position. Yes, it was a change of character, all right, but you tend to forget that that change of character can turn into a liquidity zone. Okay. People thought maybe double bottoms and triple bottoms are the only liquidity zones that we have in this forex market. Double bottoms like this one right here, yes, is let's say this was a supply area, right? Sorry, a demand area, right? This one looks like liquidity. Definitely everybody will want to actually wait for it to come and sweep this low before price goes into the direction. And in other cases, you're also going to see something like a triple bottom, right? A triple bottom is also another thing that people thought is the only kind of directions that we have to be able to know that this particular one is liquidity. Now, so triple bottom, in some cases you see them creating, this is a demand zone, then you see a triple bottom goes, create a wick above, a little come back, create one above, create another high, kind of a wick, not a break, comes down, then goes back up. Now, what you people will be expecting is probably to look around this range to take their support and resistance trade. I'm not saying support and resistance doesn't work. It does work, all right. But you need to take note that this support and resistance traders, some of them trade break and retest, which is what I would prefer as a trader. Even as an SMT trader, I would prefer this kind of breaks out before I can actually assume where the market is going next. In most cases, I have my blue kind of range accumulation box that I always put around every single range to wait for a breakout, right? Even though I might have a clear direction of where I want to go, I might have a demand area around here, okay, waiting for price to actually come and take me in. Maybe a clear break of structure at that moment to wait for that structure to come and take me in. But let's not forget that in every area there is always that particular resistant level that is waiting for price. Now take it into consideration that price can just come and tap you in and go back, tapping this particular place and going to the anticipated direction. Hence why anytime your demand or on your POI you have price being tapped, you need to go back to the lower time frames to determine as to whether this particular tap was actually a genuine tap or it was actually just there to reverse back and a pullback to come and continue the trend downward, taking you out and adding you to as liquidity. In most cases, I would suggest people should give room to your POI or your point of interest when putting your SL for price to just come and do a little sweep and go back to the anticipated direction. But in the case where price will come and retest here and go down, in the case of support and resistance traders, I would just suggest that you wait for price to give you a change of character. Now, the change of character sometimes happen in three different ways. One, it can happen inside of the box. Two, it can happen outside of the box. It will just tap on it and happen outside of the box. And two, it happens, let me say, between the range, between this, right? And this is how it happens. So let's take that this is the trend coming down. It creates a high. This low is created and creates a high and another low. Tapping in on your entry, goes back up and then comes back down. Now, I was talking to a colleague yesterday and he made me remember some video I made, I think years ago or a year ago or something like that. I don't know, 2 years ago, talking about breaker blocks. Now, he was saying something like, if price does move, right? If price does move too far away from the other block, in most cases, you need to determine the breaker block to take the entries, right? So thank you, Beatrice, um, for this particular info, for reminding me back to my root. So this is some of the things you need to also take note of. This one too is also a change of character, just so you know. Price doesn't need to go back to your order block to really prove that you are actually, um, in the right direction of the market. Hence why you need to always take note when you are taking your entries, right? Now we have the second particular session. So this is one of the ways, right? Price counts and taps into the order block and moves away, and in some cases it just sweeps a little bit, comes and misses your order block a little, or even taps in it and moves back into the anticipated direction. But rarely will you see this happening if there is a lot of gap on this that needs to be filled. The order block mostly takes its place. Just like when you watch my video about breaker blocks, I have the part one and the part two. Most people say they don't understand it. I will be doing a new video about it. The comment section, that's just the comments I'm seeing. They say don't understand, so I'll do a new video about it, and I hope everybody understands. So now these are ways for you not to be caught up into a liquidity zone. Always wait for price, right? This one is a change of character. As long as price breaks, you're waiting for price to return to this particular area for a potential sell. Fine, that's cool. But also note that this particular one is also a demand area, and price can come and use this as a sweep of liquidity and go back into this direction, right? That's very possible. So you can tend to do a ping pong kind of style. You enter here, and then when price goes, say you enter there as well. Make sure you lock both sides profit. Anywhere that it takes, you can go. That was what I used to do. It was profitable, but just that it was stressing you. You need to be taking trades up and down. So yes, now one of the things is for you to watch out for where the trend changes. Be careful. Price might come and break this. Wait for the candle to close. You can take candlestick formations. You can take trend confirmations to also know where you are. Now the other thing that you need to notice, always note the high that you are looking at, right? So let me clear this. Let me clear this ASAP. All right. So for me, I had this over here because price was just at its highs, and you can see how price has started. It tapped into it and hasn't actually returned back, and hasn't actually closed above it yet on the daily time frame. So I'm still waiting to see how the day closes, and right then you can now determine where price might go. I learned this from when I was trading patterns. You note your high of the days, you note where you are, and you also note your ranges as well. So at this point I have my range low and my range high, and I'm waiting to see what happens inside of here for me to take another next buy, right? So this buy is just basically following the trend, but price can actually change its mind and do anything else, and we have no control over it. So this is just a short video I'm recording to show you how some of the ways to actually not to be caught up in a liquidity zone. I don't know if I've explained more, but I know I've actually said something sensible. So yes, thank you for actually tuning in, and I'll see you in my next video. I've been away for a while, and I hope to create more content. I've always been promising this. By this time I hope to do better, and if I go away again, I'll surely come back and we'll all rock up the content together. Peace.